Hello and welcome. It is another day closer to free agency on this Saturday here in the Midwest. So as we get closer to free agency, I thought it would be fun today to play a little game. You might remember this from, or have even seen it before in the fantasy football community, and it is Keep, Trade, Cut. And we are going to take 3 players, and we are going to decide whether or not we want to keep one, trade one, and cut one. So if you'd like to, of course, give me your answers in the comments. Let me know which one of these players you would keep, trade, and cut. I don't think I really have to explain the rules to anybody. I think you're all familiar with this. So the players that I'm going to be looking at today are Danielle Hunter, Anthony Barr, and Reiff. And the reason I've chosen these 3 players is because I believe outside of Kirk Cousins, they've been the most discussed or involved in the most discussions regarding roster moves coming up for the Vikings, whether it's just salary cap relief, overstayed their welcome, haven't lived up to their, ridiculous contract that they might be getting, or if the trade rumors have just been brought on because of off-field speculation. And I think that one or more of those things kind of applies to all 3 of these guys. So once again, we're talking about Danielle Hunter, Anthony Barr, Reiff, and we are deciding whether or not we want to trade one, keep one, or cut one. Everybody has to be assigned to a one of these situations. We can't just skip or anything like that. So here we go. So my selections are going to be as follows. For the keep, I'm going to keep Danielle Hunter. I am going to inherit the risk that maybe potentially the neck injury is more serious than I've been told or have heard. For all intents and purposes, it sounds like surgery went well. He'll be fine. He'll be back. He'll be cleared to play. And I'm going to take that risk because he's one of the best edge defenders in the NFL right now, if not the best. And at age 27, I believe he's still got some of his best years left to go. And the downside of trading him would be the dead cap situation, where we would inherit $12 million in dead cap. And I really just don't know if I want to see him go to another team and succeed. Now, obviously, if we traded him, we would have to send him to the AFC. You don't want to keep him in the NFC because, good God, we already faced too many good, defensive linemen like Aaron Donald, and now J.J. Watt is in town, and his teammate is Chandler Jones. So, yeah, I'm not interested in keeping him in our conference. He would go to an AFC team. If I were to entertain a trade, I would probably call up Cleveland. They've got a ton of cap space. They need front 7 help. That's what I would do. But in this situation, I've chosen to keep Danielle Hunter because I still believe that he is the key to success. And if we are serious about winning a Super Bowl, if we are serious about competing this year, it begins in the trenches, and he plays one of the premier positions that needs to be solved in order to do that. So we're keeping Danielle Hunter. Now, we have 2 left, and this is going to be the trade portion of this game. And I've decided that I'm going to trade Anthony Barr. And I think that that's easier to do than trading Danielle Hunter because I still believe in Danielle Hunter. Anthony Barr, at this point in his career, not so much. I don't really think now he's integral to Mike Zimmer's system. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason that Mike Zimmer wants him to be sort of the shortstop or the center fielder of the defense, because that's how his scheme is. Anthony Barr is a good fit for the scheme. But for me, for my money in 2021, an off-ball linebacker making, $17 million against the cap isn't something I'm interested in continuing to do. So I would probably trade him. And if we trade him before June 1st, we incur $7.8 million in dead cap space. I'm okay with that. It also saves $7.2 million against the cap. A post-June 1st trade would be more interesting because then you only incur $2.6 million in dead cap space and you save $12.46, but I believe that would be more difficult to achieve unless you wanted to really gamble and hold on to him until a linebacker, a team that really needs a linebacker comes along and is desperate. But I think if you can swing a second-round pick, like a late second-round pick for Anthony Barr before this year's draft, I would do that in a heartbeat because, number one, we don't have a second-round pick. And number 2, I think that that's the most value that you're going to get for him, at least right now. So I would trade him while the value is still really good. I still think he's a good player. I just don't think that I want to pay $17.5 million to an off-ball linebacker this season. And last but not least, that leaves only 1 player and 1 option on the table, and I am cutting Reiff. It's $3.2 million against the cap in dead money for this roster move. I don't think he wants to restructure. I don't think I think we'd just be wasting time trying to restructure him a second year in a row after we've already screwed him out of, what was it, $6 million, like a week before the season started in 2020. And then, you know, he's going to be 33, 34 years old. One of the reasons it would be easier to let Riley Reiff go, despite how well he played last year and being, he plays a critical position, the left tackle spot. This draft coming up is chock full of really good offensive line talent, and I think that we'd be able to find his replacement there. If not, we've got Ezra Cleveland on the roster. We can move him over to left tackle, and it would be an interesting process. You know, I'd be really gambling with putting Ezra Cleveland in a spot, even though that's what he did at Boise State. He was the left tackle. And now we have to find 2 guards instead of 1. You know, whether or not we keep Riley Reiff, we still need to get offensive line depth, because what we have on the interior is still terrible. And it would be probably harder to find 2 interior offensive line starters as opposed to 1. But at the same time, like I said, the draft is chock full of them. You know, Rashawn Slater, Elijah Vera Tucker can play inside if we need them to. We get them. If we keep Ezra Cleveland inside, you could get somebody like Christian Darrisaw in the first round. Liam Eichenberg, Sam Cosmi, I'm just name dropping at this point, Alex Leatherwood from Alabama. There's so many players for the offensive line that you could get in the first 3 rounds that I think Riley Reiff would be an easy cut to stomach down the road, but it would be kind of scary at first because you're letting go your left tackle. So those are my choices. I would keep Danielle Hunter, I would trade Anthony Barr, and I would cut Riley Reiff. Let me know what you would do in the comments below. Don't forget to follow me at Skull Ohio on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.